I'm Belinda Fremouw, President at Passionate Project Management, where we're passionate about your success. Today's topic is cost reimbursable contracts. In cost reimbursable contracts, we'll be paying the vendor for their costs, plus an additional piece that represents their profit on top of what their costs were. In a cost reimbursable contract, the risk is on us as the buyer, as there may be multiple invoices and we don't have control over what the final amount will be, unlike with a fixed price contract. Now, there are three types of cost reimbursable contracts that you may be asked about on the exam. The first one is a cost plus fixed fee. So we would pay them for their reimbursable costs or allowable costs, plus they get a fixed fee. That fixed fee represents their profit. Typically, that fixed fee is calculated as a percentage of estimated, and I'm going to underscore their estimated costs. Okay, so let's say we have a vendor, they estimate their cost to be $10,000 and they get a 50% fixed fee. Okay, so $5,000 represents their profit. So the costs are estimated at $10,000, the fixed fee is $5,000. It doesn't matter what their final costs end up being, that fixed fee is going to stay fixed. So if their final cost ended up being $12,000 over instead of $10,000, they would get that $12,000 plus the $5,000 for their fixed fee. Contract value would be $17,000. The next type of cost reimbursable contract would be a cost plus incentive fee, and we saw something similar to this in our fixed price contracts in an earlier segment that I did. Cost plus incentive fee contracts, we reimburse them for their allowable costs, plus we can provide them with incentives for achieving certain performance criteria. Maybe they deliver early and we pay them a certain amount of money for each day they deliver early. On top of that, the one thing that confuses a CPIF contract a little bit more is we may have something called a buyer-seller split. Okay, buyer-seller split. And what a buyer-seller split does is it protects us from that vendor coming in with a very low estimate and then a very high final cost. What we say is anything above the original estimate that you come in, we're only going to pay a negotiated portion of that. So let's say it's a 50-50. Okay, so it's a cost plus incentive fee with a 50-50 buyer-seller split. The first number, by the way, is always buyer. Second number is seller, BS. I'm sure you've seen BS in your career at one point or another. So buyer, seller. So 50-50 doesn't matter because it's the same number. They estimate the cost at $10,000. Well, let's say they come in at $20,000. They came in $10,000 over. We only have to pay 50% of that overage. So we pay the original $10,000 and then only an additional $5,000 on top of it versus the full $20,000, we pay them $15,000 plus whatever incentive fee that they're entitled to. So a couple of steps in that one. And then the last type of cost reimbursable contract is a cost plus award fee contract. Now, the best example I give of this, because these aren't used real commonly in practice, best example is if you've ever gone out to a restaurant where you've had a sit-down meal and you've had a server. When you do that, you enter into a cost plus award fee contract, meaning anything that you order off the menu, any drinks, appetizers, main entrees, you have to pay that bill. Anything above and beyond that, so any incentive that you would be providing to that server, meaning any type of gratuity, any tip that you leave, is based on your evaluation of their performance. You could go and have fantastic service and give them a 20% tip or a 30% tip. Or maybe you didn't like the service and you don't leave them anything at all. The server can't sue you, right? If you stiff them, they can't sue you. Though personally, I would recommend not going back to that restaurant and having that server again. It's amazing how word spreads real quick, right? So cost plus award fee, you've got to pay the restaurant bill. Anything above and beyond that is based on broad subjective parameters, based on your evaluation of that server's service. A lot of times these contracts are used when you have a product or a service that you're very confident in, but you need to break into a market. And so you say, hey, look, just pay me my costs. Anything above and beyond that is going to be based on your evaluation on how well I did. So not real commonly used because obviously most vendors aren't going to be willing to risk that profit piece. All right. So three types of cost reimbursable contracts. Cost plus fixed fee, again remember it's fixed, so it stays the same no matter what the final costs are. Cost plus incentive fee, which is complicated with that little buyer-seller split. And cost plus award fee, think about going to a restaurant. All right, so 3 types of cost reimbursable contracts. I hope you learned something today about those 3. I love your comments, so please leave me one. Need more resources? Check out our website at www.passionatepm.com. I'm Belinda Fremouw. Have a great day.